So, you see that symbol next to my name? Notice how it's gray instead of red. Yeah, I died. I tried doing Dragon Slayer when I really wasn't ready to do it, and that happened. I wish I could show you the clip, but I also deleted it in the heat of the moment decision. So, here we are. What am I going to do now? Wait, hold on. What's this? I started another one, that's what I did. Yo, what's up YouTube? It's Patrick, and welcome to episode 3 of my Road to QuestCape series. Old school RuneScape Hardcore Iron Man Edition. Series still lives on. By the way, this is not going to be a repeat of episode 1 and 2. Basically what I do is I plan out everything that I do on this account. It allows me to do things more efficiently. I think it helps make better videos because it keeps them more organized. Otherwise, I'll be all over the place. And more importantly, it allows me to think about why I need to do something, so everything that I do has a purpose to it, which also gives me something to talk about in these commentaries. Otherwise, you'll probably be hearing me say a lot that I did this just because I felt like it, which really might be the case if I did this without any planning. This allowed me to catch up and replicate the progress of the account that I had and caught up to where I was at the end of episode 2. You know how Settled or Swampletics does seasons of a series based on the color of the cape he's wearing? Well, I'm doing seasons based on how many new accounts I have to make until I reach the end of the series. So, welcome to season 2. By the way, I also think the planning makes for better streams, so I don't spend too much time thinking about, what to do next. When I'm already live, I can just go. And yes, I do stream some of this, by the way. Go follow me on Twitch if you aren't already to catch the next stream. I also got a sub button recently if you want to do that. I'm super psyched about that. My Twitch link is in the description below. So, yeah, anyways, my name is now ImSikovit HCIM instead of HCIM Sikovit. But, since that counts a regular Iron Man now, I guess I have to change it to ImSikovit. Get it? Because that's my YouTube name. Nah, that wasn't funny. I'm sure some asshat took that name anyway so they could pretend to be me. Anyways, since we're on the same page now, where we left off last episode, basically I had to do the easy arty test so I can double the death runes I get for trading in my cats to civilians in West Arty. Unfortunately, one of these rewards was an XP lamp that I can only use on a skill that's level 30 or higher. At the end of the episode, none of my skills met that criteria, and of course, I would like to use it on a skill that's hard to train, especially on a hardcore Iron Man. Ultimately, I decided on prayer. It was one of the most beneficial because I really want those overheads, and it's probably one of the worst skills to train as a low-level Iron Man. You have to get the bones yourself, and you can't kill the high-level monsters for the good bones. Then you either have to bury it or gain access to ectofundness and use that, or get your construction up to be able to use your own gilded altar, and training construction in these levels come with a whole lot of other problems. All these problems actually made me lean towards another skill at first because I did not want to do that all the way to 30 while holding on until a lamp, until I looked up what quest gave prayer XP, and there was a quest that could jump me almost all the way to 30. So level 30 requires 13,363 XP. So just to make it a little simpler, let's round it up to 13.4k. And the quest Holy Grail gives 11k. Obviously, this puts me a little short, but I already did Restless Ghost in episode 1, which gave me a little over 1,000 per XP, and Priest in Peril gives about 1,400, which puts me just at what I need for 30 prayer. There's still a few problems with this plan, though, and that was the monster that I would have to fight. So for Priest in Peril, I would have to beat the Temple Guardian and Zamorak Mage. Holy Grail requires Merlin Crystal, where I have to beat Sir Mordred, and Holy Grail itself has the worst threat of all, the Black Knight Titan. As you may know if you've been keeping up with the series, I've been trying to train my magic this whole time. I could probably beat all of them if I used magic, or at least the first 3, right? The Black Knight Titan might just require a little bit of patience, but also might be possible, right? That is actually absolutely wrong. So, according to Rune Wiki, you can't use magic on a Temple Guardian, and the Black Knight Titan is resistant to magic. On top of that, the final hit on the Black Knight Titan has to be done with Excalibur, so melee is looking like my best option right now. However, I have virtually no melee stats. I got 29 attack from doing Fight Arena last episode, 1 strength, and 1 defense. So I gotta get those up, which means I have to do a bunch of quests that gives me combat XP. I didn't really have a goal in mind as to what these stats should be before I attempt this, but I needed something, so I just did everything I can and hoped it was enough. But first things first, before I go attempt any quest where combat is involved, I need food, which means fishing and cooking. Now, I did all the quests that I could do for now for fish XP, but what about cooking XP? A large chunk of the quest that actually gives cooking XP is the recipe for disaster subquest. Obviously, I can't do all of them, but I could do some. So I did the first part, and then I actually did the Mountain Dwarf part and the Goblin Generals part together, because the entire Goblin Generals part takes place in Goblin Village, whereas for the Mountain Dwarf, I had to go to Falador, to Taverley, to the Ice Mountain, which basically means I passed by Goblin Village twice. Not to mention, these were actually the only 2 that I could do, so it just made sense. The Mountain Dwarf gave me 1,000 cooking XP and 1,000 Slayer XP, which got me from 13 to 16 cooking and 9 to 13 Slayer. Goblin Generals part gave me 1,000 cooking XP, 1,000 craft XP, and 1,000 farming, which was 16 to 19 cooking, 14 to 17 crafting, and 1 to 9 farming. That was pretty much it for the cooking XP. Now it was time to actually fish. I went fly fishing at the Lumbridge Rivers so I could cook the fish at the Lumbridge Range, since there is a reduced burn rate on this range, and I'll just bank them off the chest downstairs, which is now unlocked since I started Recipe for Disaster. I also needed 10 cooked trout for Death Plateau, which gave 3,000 attack XP, but outside of that, I just fished and cooked until I felt like I had enough. I then blasted through the rest of these quests, did Vampire Slayer for another almost 5,000 attack XP, used magic on him. I did Dork's quest just because I felt like it. The thing is, I have a Chronicle, so I teleport to Varrock a lot, and Varrock happens to have the rocks for all the ores I need for that quest. So I just mined it. I decided to finish it because Dork was near the area of where the next quest I was going to do takes place, which is Taverley for Witch's House. Witch's House is the best quest to do to give me a boost to HP levels, which I really wanted, because having low HP on a hardcore was really giving me anxiety, to be honest. But I wasn't confident in my ability to do this quest. After doing some research, it turns out everything could be safe spotted. If you don't know about Witch's House, you have to fight an experiment, which has 4 forms. The last 2 forms are big, so it's fairly easy to get them stuck behind things. Actually, it takes no effort at all, but being able to safe spot them was common knowledge, but the first 2 only takes up 1 space. It turns out there was a way to safe spot them. I will show you some footage of me doing this on my main account. This is for the guide, by the way. So here's the way this works, and I do explain it again in my guide, but you basically stand in this one specific spot in the corner, and you have to stand on top of the experiment in the middle of attack or a tick or whatever, so it doesn't move. Once that attack or tick is over, it will move, but the only way this works is if it walks into the corner you were just in, which there's only about a 33% chance that can happen, as it can move in one of 3 directions. There's a wall that prevents it from going to the right, obviously. Then once it's in the corner, you just take a step to the side and it's stuck there. The reason why I'm showing you this footage on my main account was because I recorded it for sake of the guide, like I said, but it was way too much of a hassle to do it on my Iron Man. It was hitting me for more than I like, and I had auto retaliate on, so I hit it a few times in the process. I noticed that I was hitting it pretty well. I figured I could kill it faster than the time it took me to get in that corner, which means I take less damage, and that is the whole point of safe spotting to begin with. And you know, to be honest, it was a hassle doing my main account too, because the thing was, so the amount of time it took me to get those 2 forms in the safe spot and kill them was twice the amount of time it took me to just kill the last 2 forms. Anyways, finished off the first 2 forms pretty easily, managed to safe spot the last 2 forms easily, as I mentioned earlier. Got a huge boost to my HP level, went from 15 to 26. Then I did Waterfall Quest. This is usually one of the first quests that people do, as there's no requirements. You don't have to fight anything, and it takes you straight to 29 attack and 29 strength, assuming you start at level 1. However, there are things that attack you that can hit 10s or higher, so to do this immediately on a brand new hardcore is insane. And now that I've done Witch's House, I'm confident in my ability to do this. And let me get off topic and tell you something real quick. I love the Arctic Cloak one. Having to hold on to his lamp just to get that cloak and the extra death runes, of course, was so worth it. As someone who doesn't have a lot of teleport options yet, I abuse this monastery teleport. It helped save me time when doing waterfall quests because it was basically the closest teleport that I could use to get to a place to start the quest, which I wanted to use the Barbarian Assault minigame teleport at first, but it was telling me that I had to complete the tutorial first. So I did that when I got there, as this is a useful one to have. You don't actually have to go through a tutorial though, there's an option to skip it. The Articloak one also puts me near Tree Gnome Village, which I had to go to for this quest as well. I started the actual Tree Gnome Village quest while I was here because as soon as you start it, you already unlocked the shortcut to get to the middle, so I didn't have to go through the maze twice for that. I completed the waterfall quest. I got someone to create a safe spot for me for the boss fight for Tree Gnome Village and complete that. Basically, mad attack and strength XP. This was everything I could do for now for the melee stats, but I needed a weapon. The best melee weapon I probably had in my bank right now was a steel pickaxe. I managed to do some thieving and, flip some items until I got 32k. I could already access the Champions Guild, and this allowed me to buy a rune longsword. Now, it's time to start those quests I talked about in the beginning. I started Priest in Peril, killed the Temple Guardian, switched over to Magic for the Zamorak Mage so I could save spot because, I still wanted Magic XP. Finished the quest, got 1400 per XP from it, and I also unlocked Nature Spirit, which was one more quest I could do for some XP. So I had to fight 3 level 30 gas, which were apparently weak to fire spells according to RuneWiki, which was perfect because Fire Strike is like the most cost efficient spell for me to use at the moment. Finished that quest, got 3000 craft XP, 2000 HP, and 2000 defense. The HP and defense was really what I wanted. I beat Sir Mordred doing Merlin's Crystal, but that was expected. I wasn't really concerned about him. I finished Merlin's Crystal, and now it was time to do Holy Grail and face the Black Knight Titan. Now, there's actually one more problem with the Black Knight Titan that I didn't mention earlier. So he's resistant to magic, range as well, but I have 1 range anyways, and the last hit on him has to be with Excalibur. So basically I have to melee this guy, right? I think I already established that, but how am I supposed to do that and survive against a level 120 without protect from melee? There are 2 mechanics about the Black Knight Titan that help with this. First thing is that he doesn't move, which gives me 2 options. The first option is to get a halberd, which is a melee weapon that can hit an enemy up to 2 spaces away. I wish I can get a halberd though. Unfortunately, the only place to get this from is the Tyrus camp after doing the Regicide quest, which I'm pretty sure also requires underground pass, and I have 1 agility. I'm not doing underground pass with that. I don't even think I could, but whatever. Which really only leaves me 1 option, and that is to flinch him. And usually when you flinch something, there's this whole thing where you have to wait for the HP bar to disappear, or else they'll hit you when you go to attack them. I'm usually too impatient for flinching. Like, I don't think I've ever really bothered, but on an account that has limited resources, I gotta do what I gotta do. But something that helps with, my impatience a little bit is a second mechanic, and that is he has a very slow attack speed. So I don't have to wait for the HP bar to disappear or anything like that, because he can't even hit fast enough for all that. I saved a lot of time, but still took forever. I eventually got it, finished the quest, got my 11,000 per XP and 30 prayers, so I could finally use a lamp on it. Funny enough, I got a bunch of level 30 plus stats in the process of doing all this that I could have used it on, but like I said in the beginning, I wanted to use it on a skill that I think would suck to train, so it was worth it. I got 15,300 defense XP as well from Holy Grail, which is amazing. Ended up with a 41 attack, 30 strength, 32 defense, 20 HP, and 31 prayer. One quick thing before I go though, I also did Monk's Friend. It's pretty much the only quest that has no requirements. It gives you a woodcutting boost of 2,000 XP, and 2,000 XP got me to level 13, which is fine because I just really wanted to be able to cut oak trees, which is just 2 levels away, so I can AFK. And Monk's Friend also gives 8 law runes, which will be needed for the next episode. So what I'm going to do with these woodcutting levels and law runes, you're going to have to find out next episode. I just wanted to do this quest so I can get a head start on it. Anyways, that's going to be the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Also, follow me on Twitch to catch the next stream. You can sub to me on there as well if you would like. I would really appreciate that. My Twitch link is in the description below. Catch you later. Peace.